Welcome. I'm Alice Alicia Jones, and today is another one of my Living Consciously videos. And I will continue with Clairaudience. There were several parts that I didn't have time to complete to Clairaudience. Clairaudience is clear hearing. It's simply you connecting to your inner ear, just like you have an outer ear, you have an inner ear. And this has nothing to do with the physical, um, well, I guess it has everything to do with the physical mechanism that is inside your ear canal, but it is on a higher vibrational plane. So, effectively, what my guides wanted me to cover today that they felt was so important to clear audience is something out there called the music of the spheres. And this is not that well known because, again, the music of the spheres exists in the fifth dimension. And you have to be gifted with it, just like with your spiritual sight, your clairvoyance, to see into the fifth dimension, you have to be gifted with it. The same with clairaudience, to hear the music of the spheres. But I want to share with you two stories where, again, twice I have been gifted with this. Because if you're drawn to these videos, then my sense is that you've either had the same experience or you are going to have the same experience. The first time I experienced hearing the music of the spheres was when I was invited to a concert. There were four of us total, and one of my friends was actually one of the singers at the concert. This presentation was at, I think it was called Oberlin Hall in Trinity College, which was part of Catholic University. I'm sorry, close to, I should say, close to Catholic University, very close to where the Shrine of the Immaculate Conception is. And I was sitting there just waiting for the presentation, listened to the absolutely exquisite music that they brought forward. And then all of a sudden, as our friend is singing, I hear this chorus. It literally sounds like 500 voices. And I'm thinking, well, there's certainly not 500 more people on stage. So where is this coming from? And I start turning to the back, gaping around people, seeing, presuming that there are speakers somewhere that I just haven't seen, and that this is where it's coming from. So effectively, I see no evidence of anything else. So eventually, I just kind of settle down and I think, all right, I had heard about this, so I'm going to presume that something that is happening to me is part of this mystical condition. And we wait at the end of the concert. The gal, our friend, comes to us. And after she settles in the seat that we're in, one of my other three friends, I'm at the end, she's in the middle. She turns to me and she said, "Wasn't that singing incredible?" And all of a sudden, I just go, "You heard it." And she said, "Yes." And the other two, the presenter as well as one of the other guests, look at us strangely and say, "What singing?" And because at that time, there was only an orchestra performing on the stage, there was no singing. the singing we were referring to. So I I was so grateful that to have validation from somebody else. Not that I would have doubted it, but I think a part of me would have doubted it. So it to me, it was just again, just so incredible that somebody validated. And afterwards, during prayer and meditation, I asked my guides who that was because the singing was such a heroic, had such a heroic nature. And it was, I mean, there was such energy to the words. It was such an exquisite um, march and I kept thinking this has to have something to do with nationalism, with some type of war, of encouraging people. And so when I asked my guides what this was all about, they said, "What you heard were the guides of those who fought in the French Revolution." And I thought, no wonder it sounded so heroic. Since I didn't know, obviously do not know the name of what it was, and I can't really point you to a particular recording that sounds similar to it. Um, the closest I can come is that there is a scene in the opera Carmen where the bullfighter's presence is uh, is known, and there's a very heroic type of singing there, and it's very close to that type of singing, and so I just I was just absolutely thrilled that I got to experience it. And then to be told that it wasn't the souls of those who were fought in the French Revolution, but it was the guides of those who fought in the French Revolution. Everything we do, we are guided to do it. We do it because we're guided to do it, especially when we bust through and break through the norms, the what's acceptable by society. Our guides are there cheerleading us on. I had one more experience with the music of the spheres, a little bit different, but still there. Still very incredible. This time I woke up, I'm in my bedroom sleeping. I wake up 2 a.m. in the morning and I hear this music coming from the cul-de-sac. We happen to live on a cul-de-sac, which is pretty wide. And so I thought, God, that's awfully loud for 2 a.m. I go to the window, open the blinds, and I look, nothing's there. No one is there. But yet, I'm listening to this incredible music. That tune, again, similar, but closer to what I would call angelic voices. So, partially human, but partially angelic, because that one kind of more reminded me of the singing in the Hallelujah chorus in Handel's Messiah. So again, I just stood there and I just kept looking at this empty cul-de-sac while I had this wonderful gift given to me. So I'm I wanted to share that with you because, again, like I said, if you're drawn to these videos, chances are either you've had the same experience or you're going to. And I just want you to know they are valid. Um, the most important words that you are literally going to hear are the words inside your head. This is what is going to guide you. And this is effectively, this is where in 1987, when shortly after I moved into the home that we're still in, um, we I was sitting at the end of the couch in the living room where that was my normal place for to do my meditations and to connect with God. And at that time, I was starting to change my modus operandi. My spiritual life was starting to become much more important, or equally, I should say, as important as my physical life, equally as important as my real estate career. And so I'm sitting there, and one of my first mantras what is, I am a healer and a teacher of God around the world. And so I would say that every single day as I got up uh, to do my morning prayers and to start my morning routine, to connect to spirit, to connect to heaven, to connect to God. And all of a sudden, the words inside the voice inside my head voices inside my head come at me and say, "You are to teach about God." And I just kind of like stiffen up, and they come in louder. "You are to teach about God." And by now, I can kind of feel the tears welling up inside of me. And I listen one more time. "You are to teach about God." And I start to cry convulsively. And I say, "I can't do it. I can't teach about God. I'm not qualified. I'm not a minister. I'm not a minister's daughter. I'm not a minister's wife. I can't teach about God." So I sense that these voices retreat and that my guides are back off because they know I'm not ready. When I think about that period of time, I recognize that, oh my God, I absolutely had been preparing myself for this moment in time and to what was going to come later, because effectively, I absolutely felt that no matter what I did in real estate, no matter how many accolades, no matter how many houses, no matter how many people I helped, and for a good portion of my career, I worked with first time home buyers. So I found a way to get people into homes that where they had been turned down by other banks, other agents. I found a way for them, and I kept thinking, but I'm doing something so valuable because I'm getting people into homes where everybody said they couldn't do it. That wasn't my sole contract. That wasn't what I came here to do. It was okay for the 25 years I did it. That was that was fine. But after the 25 years were up, then I had to transition into another place. I didn't know what that place would look like, but oh my God, I do now. My website is www.alicia, ALICJA, Jones.com. And it kind of gets you into the entire sphere of what I do. And there's a lot more on there that I've accomplished that isn't on there because the individual readings, of course, um, can't be shared. They're private. But I never fail to be able to help the people that come to me because these are messages that don't come from me. They come through me. They come from spirit through me. in the same manner that the words of Own Your Power Day by Day came through me, where I did not change a single word. The whole day's lesson is italicized. Where I edited, where I changed words, then I go into just regular print. And I strongly encourage you to consider buying the book, buying it for a gift. Christmas is coming, and I've lowered the price to $24.99. You can get it on my website, you can get it on Amazon.com. So I so thank you for watching. I will be back next week, Friday, with another one of the clairs, and this is called Clair Sentience, clear feeling. I'm so grateful to have you here, and I will see you in a week.